Hello everyone, and welcome back to my Let's Play of Make a Good Mega Man Level 2. Last week we completed all of Tier 5 and got a few no damage achievements. Let's go ahead and make sure we're on the game here. And get things started. Okay, no story interrupt us today. Go ahead and... Old man. Carrot man.
Aha.
Finally, I've been working for so long on this prototype of a network of sorts that can hold data just like the simulations. It's just like any other tier, but I added some of my personal touches to it to make it mind-boggling. There are even robot masters hanging around too. They are definitely there of their own volition. Volition. Said that wrong. Okay. So. Hello, Bubba Man. I don't know why, but I feel extremely out of place. Hello, Sat Jupiter. I saw a guy with bubbles over there. I'm going to stay as far away from him as I can. Bubbles are dangerous, you know? Alright, so... starting off, we have 42nd place by Prime Pasta, Wily Coaster. Score 28.8. 33, 28, 21, 35, 27. 1 element and 2 nickels. Let's get into it. Good for your eyes. Getting hit left, right, and center here. Ow. Alright. Through that. Oh. Ow. Dope. That lyric came right out of nowhere. Alright. Oh. I need a new controller. Oh, all the way back here. Oh, come on, I jumped off in time. Oh. Alright, there's one. I'm gonna go up here. And an extra life. Alright, there's the 2 nickels. Oh, okay. Alright, that was a fairly simple stage, aside from my controller acting up on me. And we got the element and 2 nickels. Let's see what the judges say. Snow Run Pyro. Sure takes its sweet time getting to the coaster itself, LMAO. That's not really a bad thing, though. I really like parts of this level. The section with Gravitrons is very well designed and has a very good difficulty curve, and I like how how you use picket men throughout the level, having them serve as extra obstacles you can't kill immediately. The part with the coaster itself isn't too shabby either. It has a nice difficulty curve and has some pretty good enemy placement using a lot of enemies used in the previous sections. Overall, the level is just fun and well designed. I have two small issues though. One, that one noble nickel down the pit is complete bullshit, and two, the Sparkman platforms leading up to the coaster can very easily catch you off guard and slam you into the ceiling because you didn't know you had to jump off. Chibi Hornet. The level started off really nicely, as a kind of tribute to the old Wily stages, but those flying yellow enemies were spammed a bit too much. I can agree, the lyrics were a bit too much. However, once I actually got inside the castle, I found myself stuck in a loop with seemingly no way out. I played this level twice for about 30 minutes each time. I swear, I tried every possible route. I even went backwards to make sure I didn't miss anything, but nothing seemed to work. Either this level is unbeatable or it's not nearly clear enough where the player should go. Edit. One of the other judges told me where to go. Seriously, make it more clear that you need to keep riding the Sparkman platform. Add an up arrow or something. The coaster part was fun, but it was a bit too short and it didn't add much to the rest of the level. Angel. Can't say I'm the biggest fan of this one. Sorry. I like how this level progresses from one area to the next, ultimately ending in the coaster ride. But aside from that, I don't think I can sing many praises. I found myself having a lot of trouble with dealing with this level's enemies, as they were often positioned in such a way that simple misstep can easily knock the player down into the nearest pit. Another thing I found questionable is how the main path moves past the secret area for one of the nickels. I thought at that point that the level it would just go in circles and I had no exit, and it took me a moment to think of riding the platform further upwards. The aforementioned secret area, too, is an area I had a bit of trouble with. I'm sure it would have been super rewarding if only Sakugarne didn't tend to get hit while jumping on enemies while the player holds a direction. But this is something I can't blame the level for. It's just circumstance which made the area feel more like a chore to me. Oh. Guviri. Definitely an enjoyable level. Despite this, it suffers from mediocre enemy placement and an overabundance of them. The usage of the Sakugarne was implemented in an interesting manner, and the stage layout was interesting. Not much of this level stands out, but nonetheless, it's well done and I appreciate it. And a spark. I went into this thinking this is either going to be insanely cool or just a bunch of Gusman platforms. Well, I was right. There wasn't a whole lot of coaster there. Not a whole lot was done to make the gimmicks used all that interesting. There were a couple of neat moments, such as using the Sparkman platforms as a lift, as well as both Noble Nickels, but that was about it. The level's namesake was barely a thing, just enemies and like a single platforming moment. It's a bit disappointing that one or two of the bonuses have lackluster rewards rather than using the primary collectible of this contest. Enemy sections weren't bad, or enemy selection wasn't bad, and certainly consistent with the theming of Wily stages. Most were used well. I'm not sure how well this was tested. There were a couple of moments where things simply didn't work properly. The aforementioned Sakugarne block is very tricky to actually activate Sakugarne nearby, because it's so high up, Sakugarne despawns, fixed post judging. And there is a random jump towards the start that is either inexplicably a pixel-perfect jump, or possible without weapons. I'm not sure which. Not bad, but very generic. I was really hoping for the namesake to be more interesting. Yeah, there's not a lot you can really do with like a coaster element here, but the level overall wasn't bad. on to 41st place. The Martian Geek. Changeable caverns. 29, 35, 17, 32, 27, 34. And 1 element. Grab some bolts up here. You know what? I need that. Oh. Ow! I was like a second too late. Got some 8-bit Armored Armadillo music going there. Man, I swear. Ow. Come on, really? Let's see what the judges have to say about that. I jumped! I'm jumping. I swear to God, I'm jumping. I swear, why is it every time I'm trying to stream, record, or anything, my allergies act up like crazy? Always makes it feel like I got hair or something in my nose. Come on. All right. Oh. Oh. Oh, over here was just for some... some bolts. Okay. Still, I need bolts. And they were easy enough to get. Unlike that Gutsman platform. Jesus. Alright. Oh, jeez. Oh, come on. Okay. Good checkpoint. What? Yeah, after all that, I wasn't going to take the chance of... Alright. And let's see what the judges say. Snowrun Pyro. Why did this have to end so quickly? I really liked where it was going. For a level that has a large majority of the special platforms in it, it does a very good job at keeping focus and feeling coherent. It introduces each of the platforming types safely and uses most in more dangerous setups later on. And hey, Moon. The difficulty curve is just very well done in general. The enemy challenges are pretty great too. I really like how the Drillons and Molars were combined, but it felt like it ended just as it was starting to ramp up the difficulty. I really wish there was more because I love what is actually here. It just feels like it got cut off before it could be truly amazing. GP Hornet. Pretty forgettable level. It was mostly just rooms with enemies and then moving platforms over pits, and that was it. The room with 3 Crashman lifts is a bit glitchy. One of them randomly pushed me off for some reason. Angel. This level is a lot of fun to play, but often misses out on aspects such as safety nets and ramping up the difficulty, with later sections sometimes being easier than earlier sections, and the enemy setups not offering a lot of variety. A lot of this level's assets are taken for granted, and while others are formally introduced, the others are often what will lead the player to the player's death. The Guts Lift section, in particular, is rather tricky for where it is placed on the level, and I died a lot on it when I wasn't exploiting the lack of spike collision in that room to bypass it and explore other parts of the level. The open platforming segments are a nice but rompy challenge and definitely the highlight of the stage. Guerreri. I feel like it could have been done better. The level just doesn't look nice. Some parts of the stage suffered from either bad enemy placement or having to deal with desynchronized moving obstacles. And overall, it just feels generic. Nothing creative or interesting, really. At least it was mostly enjoyable. And A Spark. Fun little stage, if too much on the safe side. This stage works, but on the Goldilocks scale of level design. It sits just below the just right in the gimmick implementation. You don't go far enough with the gimmicks to be truly memorable, with not much identity of its own other than every platform gimmick. That being said, there is actual thought behind your use and placement of said platforms, and nowhere does it feel half-assed. It's just I feel a few more screens with repeated gimmicks and a slightly higher difficulty for the climax of your stage would have served you better. You also put in areas where Noble Nickels would have acted much better than bolts. This is just a poor design choice, as no one will attempt the additional challenge you propose, because there is simply no point to it. The stakes aren't high enough. Lastly, I feel the Gutsman platform segment was pointless. The player is left waiting for the platform to sync up together. It's minor, but it would have been better to see other platforms return with a different setup rather than "Hi, Gutsman Platforms 6. Hi, Gutsman Platforms 6 cameo." Man, I'm sorry. Noteworthy things about this stage: perfect theme and selection of enemies for a cavern setting. Good music choice and gimmicks are introduced very well. Okay. Props to the Shadowman platform segment. I didn't even notice how clever your introduction of them was the first time through. It took a second playthrough for me to get it, but it's subtle but well done. I am sorry, I'm out of breath today. Alright, Sniper Joe. That level down there is the home of my entire extended family. Oh, man. Like, man. I power this whole facility. That's why I'm running around to charge up static electricity. Oh, man. 40th place, Zealdak. Joe Man. 29.2. 30, 33, 32, 24, 27. Oh, man. I'm groaning because I remember an aspect of the stage. Well, here we go. Okay, there's 2 nickels. All right. All right, moving on. All right. Okay. Oh, thank goodness I didn't fall down the hole. Ah, bugger me. Ow! Alright, where's it gonna put me? Okay, it's not bad, but not good either. I don't have to go do that. Oh. No! Well, at least I made it back to the ladder this time. No! Gosh dang it! Why aren't you... Did this before. There. Dang it. Alright. So... No! This is hard. Thanks, Moon. Ow. No. No, why are you... I jumped too high. See, my jump's just a little too high. Hey, Tyranno. Yeah, so far... I don't know, I'm on the third level of the tier. No! Controller, stop it! No. Okay, let me... No. Gosh, dang it. Ow. Ow. Well, had to go back anyways. I guess I'll just go back a little extra. But I got that noble nickel now, so... Ow! Gosh darn it all. Okay. Well, yeah, it's not going to be there again anyways. Ah. No. Ow. Gosh dang it. B, go! Ah! Carrot Man? Yeah. One of the fun included costumes. you, I am really playing like shit tonight. Come on. Oh, come. Go through all that again. No. Why are you not grabbing the ladder? Seriously. Oh, thank heavens. No! Stop! I swear to God, I am pressing my jump button. Yeah, Tyranno, I don't know if you've experienced this playing any Mega Maker levels, but like, one of my biggest pet peeves for any player-made levels is like, they make them and they're like, oh yeah, I can beat this. This makes perfect sense to me, and I can beat it. Oh yeah, Jewel's satellite would block the projectiles, but that's not my biggest problem right now. Okay. What do you got for me, Eddie? A refill. Perfect. And I know this is a checkpoint. Oh, fuck. Okay. There's the energy element, but this is for the last nickel. Alright. So I already took a long time on the level, but this is going to take even longer, because... Oh, this is... No, I didn't want to break that out. Actually, it's fine. Oh, man. Okay. Okay. There's the noble nickel. And I think that's everything. Okay. I hope that's everything, because I really don't want to have to go through this level again. Okay. 1 element, 5 nickels. Oh man, that took forever. Okay. Let's see what the judges say. Snow Run Pyro. This is really bizarre. The level is well designed. It has a proper difficulty curve. It introduces its elements properly. It's professional. It feels like Mega Man. But it's just so boring. The level is just so dull and bland. All enemies in the level are variations of Mets, Sniper Joes, and shield attackers. Nothing else. The 3 most generic enemies you could possibly pick. There's mines, I guess, but those have been done before. See MMU. I guess Mega Man Universe? I don't know. Mega Man Unlimited. And there's time bombs, but those have been in every fan game ever. There are a few clever setups. I like the bajillion time bombs plus 2 copter at rooms. But the rest of the level is just an extremely basic difficulty curve. There's really nothing interesting. Oh, you have to do a really annoying jump between 2 time bombs under spikes to get a noble nickel, but that's about it. The boss is really dull too. It's just the attacks of the level's enemies, except in a boss. The room's boss, or the bonus boss, is even dumber because it's basically the original boss except with 3 health bars and like 1 new attack that isn't hard to dodge. It doesn't help that the bonus boss hits like a truck and it'll kill you quickly if you mess up at all. The level feels like it was churned out of a factory or something. It's really dull and bland and doesn't have any charm or anything really creative going for it. But there is proper design. It feels like it was made by a machine. Droopy Hornet. This level felt like something straight out of Mega Man 10, with awesome graphics. The mini-boss is a fun kill room full of the different types of Sniper Joes. However, there are some unfair enemy placements, mostly with the shield attackers. There are a few right after screen transitions that are very hard to avoid. Spikes plus low ceilings above you, so you can't jump over. Pit in front of you, so you can't slide under. Coming towards you, so you can't kill them without Flash Stopper unless you know they're coming beforehand. Joe Man himself was an alright battle, but his attacks do a lot of damage. Joe Man R was just Joe Man with multiple health bars and a few more attacks, which was disappointing. I would have liked to see a boss with Sniper Joe's forms, mech, copter, etc. Angel. Honestly, what keeps me from really liking this level is the fact it's not designed around being beatable with Slash Claw only. That would have been such a cool detail. Come on. Come on. In all fairness, though, this level does a pretty good job at following the formula it's designed by. It properly introduces all of its assets in a safe manner and ramps up its difficulty until you get to the boss, and even beyond that. My one problem is, the boss is a good analogy for the level. The first encounter being the first half, and the second being the second half. It's the same thing, but with an element or two extra and a much higher risk of failure. I really like the first half of this level, but after that, I got slightly bored, as the mines didn't add much to the level structure, and the upwards climb was the part that stood out the most about the second half. Though I wasn't a big fan of that part. The level ended up feeling repetitive, felt like areas I've already been through, and the same applies for the boss rematch. The nickel locations in this level are pretty silly. There are some hazards in the stage I feel were placed unfairly, and most of them, not all of them, are within nickel nooks. The fourth nickel in particular contains a spike jump that is very easy to fail, and due to how the level places its checkpoints, it takes quite a while to get back to it. Overall, I wish the level added another element in its second half. Preferably one that's not scattered across the floor in abundance near the end. Yeah, I will agree with that. Gariri. I think this is one of the few levels that legitimately frustrated me. It's filled with Sniper Joes and other shielded enemies that require extreme patience and timing in order to defeat without taking damage. Often you can't do it, so you end up with all your health lost after a short while. It doesn't help that there is a lack of checkpoints here. I guess using the Slash Claw helps, but most enemies will attack you from far away. What bothers me the most is how insanely difficult the extra boss is. He's practically unbeatable if you don't use E-Tanks. This really could have been a good level, but the awful level design ruins it. And a spark. You started well. Nice tile sets, if generic. The few new custom assets are good, if generic. Decent selection of gimmicks, even if they are also a little generic. And pleasant enough music, which is also pretty generic now that I think about it. Overall, solid, pretty well built stage. Some of the rooms were great. Your use of count platforms combined with the flying mets was pretty clever. The reflection blocks were in really good locations. We had what was a great cap to your stage, your Robot Master. Aside from what is possibly a hitbox that is too large, his attacks had conveyance throughout the stage. His pattern was fair, good variety to the fight, and overall he was enough of a challenge to be fun. Your fourth Noble Nickel was probably a bit too hard for its own good. The count bombs needed to be about 16 pixels lower than they are currently, honestly. All this sounds positive so far, right? Just a few nitpicks and the like. Where'd you drop the ball? Taking everything into account, that would be your second Robot Master. Oh dear. You kind of went overboard. This thing is left a rather bitter taste in my mouth. 3 health bars on a boss that is almost completely invincible about 75% of the time? Okay, that alone is stupid. But it's a 3-phase boss fight, so okay, maybe 3 health bars are fine, provided each phase is different enough. Surely the fact you can't hit it most of the time is taken into account. But no. Your first phase is literally a copy of the first Robot Master. Why are you making us redo the exact thing we just did 10 seconds ago? The later forms have attacks where he's just completely invincible for eons, and the only really good way to beat him before he death the universe is to use the weakness. Everything here is bumped up into frustration levels and hits areas of tedium that I did not know was possible for a Mega Man boss whose name doesn't end in the word devil. Also, you probably should have put a sign after the boss, because I was left scratching my head for which direction I should head in order for that nickel, because I feared I'd lose my progress by choosing wrong. If you as the player is reading this before review or beating this stage, go right, not up. Yeah, that's kind of one of my biggest pet peeves about a lot of these like build a level contests is I was explaining this in the level. Have others play test your level first. Don't just make it and say, "Oh well, I can beat it." They have Mag Mammal 3 out, and it's done. You know, that contest is over. If they do a Mag Mammal 4, everybody just. It's been brought up in both Mag Mammal 1 and Mag Mammal 2. And probably in Mag Mammal 3 as well. I haven't gotten that far yet, and neither has Raw Mythal, the one I've been watching. Have others play test your level before submitting them, so you can find faults like that. Because, well, yes, you may be able to do it, the vast majority of people might not be able to. Anyways. Sheepman. This place reminds me of home. Could use some more electric-powered octopods, though. Hang on. Which one was this? Okay, that was 40th. Trying to make sure I'm going the right way. Okay. 39th place by Shikmaklin? I don't know that name. Crystal Lab. 29.4. 30, 34, 29, 24, 30. And one energy element. Let's get into it. Okay. Can't go left. Okay, those are spikes. Good to know. Controller, come on. If I have to, I'll swap to the only other one I have. I hit the top spikes this time. Alright. Must have that. Excuse me. Sorry about that. I don't know why it is. Only when I'm trying to stream that my nose and everything just. Ow! Alright. I don't think... Okay. No, there's no... There's only an element here. There's no nickels. Oh yeah, that's not an annoying sound. Of course. Please be a checkpoint right there. Down the chute is fine too. Ow. Ow, I hit my head on the ceiling. I gotta jump sooner than that. I gotta take that hit. Or... Ow! Well, I hope this is the only section where they have these screw platforms, but... Okay. Oh, there. Some right here. All right. I really hope that I was going the right way. Okay, Iceman, I think... Okay. Oh. Grabbed my controller again and went back into the level. Alright, see what the judges thought. Snow Run Pyro. A good concept for a stage, and the rising platforms are simple but effective. But the stage itself seems marred by bizarre design choices. There's random usage of insert utility weapon of your choice here, spread throughout the stage, especially near the beginning, and to be honest, my first thought was that the level was broken rather than me having to use super arrow or something. There's also a few stretches of random wheel cutter usage. The level does give you a heads up by putting cutters in the background, but I didn't even notice them until my second playthrough because I don't really have a keen eye for graphical things. The second shaft of wheel cutter usage is particularly frustrating to me. The slipping through spikes maneuvers are very finicky, and due to the fast rising speed of wheel cutter, it's hard to really react at all. It also doesn't help that no matter what path you take, a checkpoint is quite a ways away from the shaft you'll most likely keep dying in. I would say that the floating platforms didn't get used enough, but near the beginning of the level there's a random secret path you can only get through by sliding through a fake wall that actually does have okay usage of the rising platforms. It puzzles me why that wasn't just the second half and was instead put on a random secret path no one will find. Overall, there's nice ideas, but the forced weapon usage just really ruins it for me, because it's so thrown in and obnoxious. Cheapy Hornet, really cool level. I love the atmosphere in this place. Felt kind of like a ruined factory of sorts. I really like the usage of the elevators, but they kept making the sound it makes when gravity flips, which was kind of annoying. Can't agree. One of them pushed me through a wall and killed me once. The last wheel cutter section was pretty difficult compared to the rest of the level, and new players will most likely die the first time they play through it. Intro. Pretty neat. I like the platforms this stage revolves around. They're a neat concept and used pretty well. I find it somewhat of a shame how they're rather glitchy though, with glitchy results when they push the player into a ceiling and the gravity sound effect relentlessly playing for seemingly no reason. I like how this stage makes use of various utility weapons in order to advance, though I wish it'd start out every introduction to a concept in safer environments, as instant death is kind of everywhere in this stage. The screw platforms themselves never got a proper introduction, unfortunately. Its first use is atop a pit of spikes, no matter which of the three paths the player takes. Speaking of paths, I like the intense secret route this level offers, but I think due to its difficulty, that shortcut should reward with something, perhaps a double nickel. The final section before the boss feels pretty epic, and despite my numerous deaths, I am a big fan of it. Nice level overall. Guriri. I don't get it. What is this level trying to be? The level design in this one isn't as bad as the others in terms of enemy placement, for example, but the stage layout is just awkward. It's just so awkward it almost feels as if the author had tried to implement secret paths into the level, but didn't do it. Excuse me. It could have been a good level. The ideas were where they should have been, but the execution is just really bad. A-Spark. There's plenty to be happy about with this one. Your segment with the wheel cutter and your rising platform gimmick was neat, and the auto-scroller and the vertical room, which combine both, are really quite enjoyable to go through. The enemy setup makes good use of shield attackers. It's just got a few niggles that hinder it a bit. The level is a tad ugly, mostly in color palette. Why is this monochrome? This gets very dull after a while, and not even a decent tile set can salvage it. It makes it hard to tell what you can and cannot walk on at times. You didn't take a few things into consideration. Namely, I think you should have taken the option to render Wheel Cutter with infinite ammo, because you base this stage entirely around it. Which is fine by itself, but you have infinite lives here, and the player who is struggling will be forced to reset. Your rising platform gimmick also breaks one of the Mega Man conventions. Gimmicks should respawn or outright kill you if you fail them. Having them not reset and forcing the player to kill themselves goes against every gameplay instinct a game player will have. Finally, there are a lot of areas that look like either the correct route or an alternate route, and they aren't. This sort of thing baffles the player. Yeah, I don't know. We're moving on. 38th place, Mugman, by Mugman. Nitrogen Man, 29.6, 28, 33, 32, 32, 23. One energy element, let's get to it. Okay. No more penguins. Oh. Ah. Excuse you. What is your weakness? In this one. Alright. That is an E-tank, but oh well. I can buy more. Alright, Snowrot Pyro. Aw, I like the idea of Nitrogen Man, and I was hoping for some good usage of the time bombs and wave streams, but unfortunately the level just didn't really do much in general. Many of the wave streams don't really pose a true threat. The level is very open, so that means you can jump over them easily. I feel like the wave streams work much better than when the level is cramped. Besides the idea, the level just plays the Gemini Man above ground section Mark II. It's the same type of enemy, same type of obstacles, it's just kind of there. The level just doesn't really do much, and that's what brings it down for me. Also, random Chillman fight at the end? I suck at fighting Chillman. You and me both. Joopy Hornet. This level felt like a ton of wasted potential. The recolored Shadow Man tile set looks nice, but I'm assuming by Nitrogen Man you meant liquid nitrogen, so you could have used some really cool ice-themed gimmicks, like the melting blocks. It started off nicely with the Wave Man stream puffs that freeze you, but there could have been so much more. I was even disappointed that the boss is called Nitrogen Man, but the boss was just Chill Man. Angel. Cool. Level. It can get somewhat samey after a while, but it has a solid idea and sticks to it. I kinda wish it didn't forget about its exploding platforms after the first few screens, though. The background palette can be somewhat eye-searing at times, and I sometimes jumped into the water by mistake, thinking of it as ground. Ground also has the same texture of water, but the aesthetic is nice otherwise. I like how the level is mapped out in the boss room, and the bonus room is indicated both there and by the bubbles in the room above, but it's empty? What a disappointment. I want my money back. Gariri. There's really not much I can say about this stage. Nothing here is too impressive, but I enjoyed it. The level design is also fairly solid, although some spots are kind of cheap, or just boring and empty. It's a bit short, and there could have been more to it, but it's alright. Ace Bar. There is some promise in the concept of this level, an entire base filled with nitrogen-based gimmicks. Intriguing. And then nothing happens. This level feels a bit half-baked. Even the tile set didn't bother animating tiles that clearly should be. The effort to make standard Mega Man tiles and make them theme together is appreciated. Your sole new gimmick is purely there to waste time. It aids in the level's theme, but that is about it. The fact it freezes you in place is actually a detriment to your stage because this fact doesn't even matter. You are also incredibly inconsistent with the ice tiles. Floors that look identical in this stage act differently. It's very confusing. Credit will be given where credit is due. The few screens with the count bombs are expertly pulled off. Fortunately, the same care wasn't taken elsewhere. Not outright terrible, but it is rather there, and the sheer pointlessness and annoyance of your new gimmick is a major deterrent. Oh, drop my controller. Yeah, I mean, interesting level overall, but yeah, it should have had its own Robot Master. 37th place, by quest mark, Duwong. 29.8, 34, 29, 27, 40, 19. One element and 3 nickels. Let's get into it. Hello, Power Muscler. I'm just gonna go past you because you're kind of annoying. Thank you, Eddie. Okay. Alright. I remember this. I'm gonna mess up at some point, I know I am. Okay, well, I didn't... Do you like my car? Oh, I did... Okay, well, I have to go back in anyways. I think you didn't give the nickels. Okay. Well, since I have to be back in here anyways... Should play that on stream too. I have Half Jenny Hero. Hey, no worries. Okay, I mean, so far I'm not seeing... places to go for the nickels? Huh. Okay. So here's what happens. Yeah, you don't want to look left. That's why I was so voluntarily taking so much damage. Okay, so where is... Okay. I didn't see any path. Don't... Yeah, not that way. I don't think I've... Aha! And hello, JoJo reference. And at least that refilled my E-tanks and M-tank, so I don't have to go buy them. Alright, so, let's see what the judges say. Snowrun Pyro. This is memes. Pretty good level. The aesthetics are pretty weird and definitely not something I've seen in Mega Man before. The design isn't the best ever, but I like some of the ideas present. I like how spines are used in the first section, and there are some kind of neat setups with the Plant Man platforms in the second section. I don't like some of the enemy placements in the second section, though. There's some enemies like Crazy Cannons that just seem placed to waste your time rather than actually provide a challenge. The third section is interesting and really stressful, and I think the gimmick is badly introduced. I didn't get what the sign meant until my second playthrough, so the first playthrough I was just trying to get through the section as fast as possible and getting extremely paranoid of the death wall coming out of nowhere. It's an interesting stipulation when you get it, though, and it affected my playstyle personally quite a lot. So, while it's not perfect, the level has some interesting ideas, and it's a good level overall. Also, that meme room, shaking my head. Droopy Hornet. Picture this. You're just scrolling through a city, shooting a bunch of enemies, admiring the cool graphics, and minding your own business, and then, oh man, a giant wall of hands comes out of nowhere and kills you instantly. Ah! That's what happened to me in the second half of the stage. The first time I played this, I had no clue what caused that to happen, but the second time I noticed the picture on the wall and realized it happens whenever you press the left arrow. A text sign saying "Don't look back" or something similar would have been nice. Also, some of the Plant Man platforms in the aerial section despawned, so I had to use Rush Jet. Maybe add a few safe platforms in case that happens, like count bombs. Angel. Probably the most memeable or memorable thing about this level is the section of Death Hands. Only for the hands. Loving those. My favorite section to play through, however, was the platforming section. While it doesn't do anything particularly innovative, I like how it makes you shoot a long distance to activate a platform or take down a foe. The first section suffers a lot from the background, and the no left section has some spam issues near the end, and ends up getting rather repetitive. I'm not a big fan of this level's visuals. Guriri. I really enjoyed playing this stage. The level design is rather solid, the ideas behind it are very interesting. I also like the aesthetic and music used in this stage. However, there are quite a bit of problems. The section with the gray hands thing is very difficult to comprehend at first, and you'll be confused when they get triggered randomly, but once you learn the mechanic, it becomes a fairly interesting section. Aside from that, the visuals, although as mentioned previously, look good, it still feels a bit nauseating just looking at all this blend of colors. And finally, the Noble Nickels didn't need to be where they are. To conclude, this is definitely one great level, but it has some issues. Hey Spark. What the hell? I don't even... If I could leave the review there, I would. I have no idea what was going on, and at this point I'm too afraid to ask. This was creative? The idea here was actually fine, but your implementation killed it. This is single-handedly the worst gimmick introduction to an instant death mechanic I've come across. It took me many attempts to even figure out what was going on. what was looking like a decent, if unoriginal, level was just killed stone dead by that gimmick. You need to find a better way to explain it. I don't mind dying to figure out a gimmick, but this one felt too obscure for me. I do not think the background details are enough to understand it, because there are background arrows everywhere in the level without meaning. So the player thinks, what is one more background arrow supposed to mean? Yeesh. As for the new tile set, it was, in a word, hideous. From the color palette, to the shading, to the new elements, to cut off tiles, to whatever that scary thing was at the end of this. Whatever that scary thing was at the end of the stage was. Grammar, writing, do you speak it? There is one highlight to this stage. The bit in the clouds. I felt there was some really good implementation of the Platman platforms, but the rest, I'll say it again, yeesh. Again, not a bad stage. "36th place by Duck Salmon. Lava Factory. Score 30. 32, 32, 25, 34, 27. 1 element and 3 nickels. Let's go. Hi. All right. That's a trick. Hang on. Whoa! All right. All right, there's 1 nickel. Shadow Man. Hey, you cannot destroy everything every time. My precious wine factory. What? You thought this was lava? Ha! No, son. Why do you think that Capcom's level designers put lava in a ninja stage? Please, take that orb and leave this place. Man, I am not good at finding these first time. Alright. I forgot they work on meds too. Okay, so there's two. Okay, so we're still looking for 1 nickel. Well, not super certain where they could be. We got that nickel there. And then pretty much the end section. I got that one. I don't know, is it you? Hmm. Maybe it is here and I need to use wheel cutter? This is the only place I think it could be. Oh? It's not over here. You know, I'm just not sure where it could be. Let me see. Oh. It's right at the beginning. Thanks for playing. A special thanks to the creators of this engine that makes true my childhood dream. This is my very first game level. I hope you enjoy it now. Good luck. Remember, this is Lava Factory. Alright. See what the judges think. Snow Run Pyro. Pretty nice level. It's not spectacular or anything, but it's fun and has some clever design moments. I like how you use the jumping meds at the beginning, and I liked how the underwater noble nickel was hidden. In the end, though, it doesn't really do much. But it's fun either way, so it's not like a crime or anything. It's just overall a nicely designed and fun level. The fake energy element totally fooled me, and the wine joke at the end was funny. Probably the only issue I would have is that secret dev room. Not sure if I'd hide noble nickels behind something that obscure, especially since the wheel cutter blocks are used everywhere else. Still a nice level, though. Joopy Hornet. You got me with that energy element troll. Anyway, this level may not have been that long or had a lot of custom assets, but I enjoyed it anyway. It felt like something straight out of one of the classic Mega Man games, and at the end of the day, this is the Make a Good Mega Man level contest. Thing is, some parts use the tile set in really strange ways. Beginning of the water section and the vertical rooms with the tellies got a bit annoying. The lack of a boss was disappointing, and the ending dialogue didn't make a ton of sense. All in all, though, good effort. Angel. Pretty cool first level. While playing it rather safe and not being very innovative, it has a nice difficulty curve and does a decent job at introducing various mechanics it uses. The slash claw indication on the breakables isn't obvious, and the mine section is pretty bland and unnecessary. But aside from that, I enjoyed it. Yuriri. Not a bad level. Not a bad level. The level design is well done, with the exception of a few sections, such as the ones with the sea mines and the ones which just feel empty. Other than that, there's not much to say about this one. I had fun playing it, but it wasn't anything too amazing, and the stage concept is a little generic. Hey Spark, if this is actually your first attempt at a level, I'd say you did pretty good. For a contest, though, it's not terribly interesting. I am liking the destructible walls being built into the terrain as they are, and the first noble nickel was very sneaky. Was very, very sneaky. I approve. I'm almost thinking that the level probably should have stuck to its guns, and, in a strange thought, actually kept up the weapon usage. I mean, they're there, and by introducing the destructible blocks on the main path, you clearly indicate what sort of level you're doing. Except that it just sort of stops that and become generic. I thought the fake energy element was kind of daft, especially since there doesn't appear to be any justification for it whatsoever. There are a few too many empty screens every so often, and that screen with nothing but mines. Pointless and huge time waster. Since there is no challenge to these things whatsoever. The use of ceilings was also very inconsistent, so when attempting to jump off the top of the screen, the player never knows if they'll bump their head off an invisible ceiling or not. It certainly is not an awful stage by any stretch of the imagination, but it did sort of lose any identity it could have had partway through. And that is a shame, and very disappointing. Oh, and for once I approve of the lack of the boss following a boss corridor. While it's not a boss fight, there still is a climax to the stage of sorts, so it works. Yeah, overall, the stage isn't bad. We've seen much worse being played here. 35th place, Patchy, just an ice level. 30.2, 35, 31, 19, 34, 32. 1 element and 4 nickels. Let's go. Checking left. I hope I win. And there's 1. I can slash claw you. Alright, to a 4. Oh, did the stream freeze or something? Ah, okay. There we go. No. No. Down first. Oh, Thank you, Eddie. Ah, I meant to use an E-tank before I hit that. Oh well. Alright. Okay, so I should have gone up first. Ooh. Oh man, that was a lucky jump. What do you give him, Eddie? Another A-tank. Thank you. Oh. And that was a waste. Okay, so that. Oh, this has a wind blowing. Okay. I'm sorry. Oh no, the penguins weren't bouncing off the walls. There was another spawner on the other side. Yes, it did. I don't know why it did, but it did. Okay. If you're gonna play that nonsense... They're gonna be the last nickel here? No? Did I miss it? Alright, I guess I must have missed it on that path. Is the Blacko supposed to break or something? Well, at least I got my energy tank back. Okay, so... So... Oh, I didn't jump. Oh. Okay, I think I... No? No? Okay. So... Hmm. Just the end of the level again. No? Alright.